A classic quote attributed to Mark Twain, "Whiskey is for drinking, water is for fighting," was said in reference to the fight for water in California and across the western United States. This fight for water continues today in California's Napa Valley, where controversy builds over the Potter Valley Project's diversion tunnel and relicensing set for 2024. The Potter Valley Project is a small hydroelectric operation owned by PG&E, consisting of 2 dams and a diversion tunnel on the Eel River in Northern California. Water diverted from the Eel River goes through a mile-long tunnel to the hydroelectric operation on the Eel River. The water being diverted from the Eel River to the Russian River has led to controversy over the continued operation of the Potter Valley Project. The Friends of the Eel River, an organization for the protection of the Eel River watershed, argue the diversion tunnel is damaging the river's ecosystem, pushing fish populations close to extinction. The Friends of Eel River argument against the continued use of the diversion tunnel is backed with evidence of how drought has adversely affected the river and studies that show fish populations are nearing extinction. They claim the Mendocino County wine industry has greatly benefited from the extra water being diverted, allowing for agriculture in places the land would not naturally be able to support. Increased thirst for the Eel River's water is coming from more places than just the Mendocino County Water District. An increase in pot farm operations in the river's watershed has also led to a decrease in water flows. The Friends of Eel River's position on the relicensing of the Potter Valley Project is firmly against the continued use of the Eel River's water for the benefit of water users on the Russian River. Mendocino County Water District argues they have relied on extra water for more than 100 years and still do rely on the water being diverted to sustain their water users' needs. They say increased need for water has come from multiple factors, including an expanding wine industry, a growing population, and the effects of drought. The Mendocino County Water District wants the Potter Valley Project to remain in operation to benefit their water users who rely on the diverted water. The continued operation of the diversion tunnel and 2 dams that make up the Potter Valley Project are threatening the Eel River's salmon population and could cause the population to go extinct if not better managed. In this aerial photo, we can see the Cape Horn Dam, the smaller downstream dam where Eel River water is diverted into the east branch of the Russian River. An estimated 51,810,309,000 gallons of water is diverted annually. This massive amount of water being taken from the river can cause flows to drop so low the fish are unable to migrate up fish ladders. When fish are unable to reach their original breeding grounds, a significant decline in their reproduction occurs. Pot farms in the Eel River watershed are also damaging the river's ecosystem, pulling water from the river often without regulation and polluting the river with pesticides. This map by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife shows marijuana cultivation sites being studied in the Salmon Creek and Redwood Creek watersheds. A report by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife states, pot growing has become so prolific in this region it is literally sucking the streams dry. The map gives us reference to just how dense pot farming has become in the region. With few regulations and even fewer growers following regulation, it's easy to see why the watershed is suffering. Drought has adversely affected the Eel River's watershed, further straining the river's fragile ecosystem. The effects of California's 4-year drought can be seen taking its toll on the Eel River in this photo taken in January of 2017. Drought has impacted the Eel River in 2 major ways, the first being the physical impact of a lack of water coming down the river, and the second being the demand from outside forces like irrigation districts appealing for more water. When the riverbed dries up, aquatic life dies and riverbanks erode, damaging the river's ecosystem. The Potter Valley Project was constructed before the environmental impact of such projects was considered. Construction of the Potter Valley Project tunnel began in 1908, long before environmental agencies or interest groups were formed. The massive 8-foot wide Birchwood tunnel that passes underground 1 mile, diverting billions of gallons each year, would never have been okayed in today's environmental climate. The continued operation of the diversion tunnel and 2 dams at the Potter Valley Project are threatening the river's salmon population and could cause the salmon population to go extinct if not better managed. Pot farms in the Eel River's watershed are also damaging the river's ecosystem, pulling water from the river often without regulation and polluting the river with pesticides. Mendocino County agriculture has grown beyond the land's natural geological water resources, with extra water coming from the Eel River. As a result, the Eel River's watershed needs time to recover, and in order to do that, it needs proper water management to restore the river's ecosystem.